Welcome back, beautiful people. You are live with the crew. How y'all doing? Let's have a roll call. Where are y'all coming from? Dad, how you doing? Where are you coming from today?
Oh, I'm coming from the mountains in the central California Sierras.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Central region.
region. Yes.
Uh-huh.
hmm That's where I'm coming from.
Nice.
Physically, spiritually, I'm coming from a whole deeper
Mhm.
place than that. Thank God.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Happy, happy to be in my floaties in the deep end.
that's right.
Here we
I've had those.
go. Here we go.
We're in the deep end of the pool now, kids.
And we are.
Okay. B-Man, how are you doing and where are you coming from?
Really good coming from beautiful slow town California. um I The longer and longer I live here, and it's really because of the people, um just the people in my life and the friends that I've kept, and uh the jobs and this, and to us have the meetup that we did recently here.
It's fun.
It's just all of the feedback that I get from other people, and the way I feel here. It's home. It's home. I never thought anywhere but Mammoth would be home, and it is. It is. So I'm happy. Happy to be here with all of you, and then happy to run off and go see my people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did some of that last night with some coworkers. A lot of them asked me about what we're all doing here, and I can't wait to get into that today. Um, and then other stuff, we get some XRP going 4.3% last 24. Um, we're still looking at all that. Um, but it's exciting to, I don't even pitch it anymore, Dad. Like, it's, when somebody asks me, I got this chunk of money to invest, what do you think? What would you do?
Yeah.
And I immediately, now I just turn it around and it's say, um, what are your expenses? What do you need? Is there anything that you have to replace? And more importantly, and Simon's voice rings inside my head, can you pay yourself a chunk of that first and take that money and continuously put it to work for you? Maybe you never spend that money, that 1,000, 2,000 bucks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But can you sock that away to continue to build for your future? And that's a ton of the chats we got into, and it's very personal. We're all going to do it at different. My dad and I are very different investors and how we've gone about even crypto. It's going to be very like a custom angle. And so, like, you and I, Dad, like understanding more about all this other stuff we're working on, and being able to talk to people and give them kind of some good advice, but also be inquisitive. Like, what do you need? What do you want to get done? Who are you? Um, is the key. I think it's the key to all of this. Um, and I'm excited to talk about it, and I'm excited to talk about it in that way. I still have a lot of success and wealth building and asset building to do myself, and so I get to come at it very humbly. And I'm excited to do that kind of content going forward too. I think it's really important, like for people who don't have a lot right now, or don't have as much as they would like, just to continue to keep at it and stay positive, and maybe put some of those little ideas and plans into your life so that you are creating it. You're not just going about business as usual and letting the
Yeah.
country spend all our money, and yada yada. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to have those chats and for people to, I know a ton of people approach you about it. Um, but just to try to, give them really cool ideas and talk to them about budding trends and why we believe in blockchain, um,
Mhm.
for the future and things like that. So that's what I've been cooking on.
That's good. So have you heard more and more people? I'm up here in the sticks, as you
Yeah.
know, and it seems like the only people I talk to now anymore in my life are crypto people. So I
Hmm.
don't get the objective view of somebody who works in the public eye as much as you do.
Yeah.
Uh, are people actually starting to talk about crypto more, or is it just because they know that you have a crypto channel? What
It's
do you think?
I think it's both, and I think people have been gracious too to not just, you know, hey dude, which crypto? Which one do I buy? And I'm like, well, I'll write you a list. I'll write you a list of the ones that are what I'm buying. And that's not to say that that's what you should get. Like, I'm writing this list down for you. Like I was telling you about this with our friend Dave. I'm like, Dave, like these are the ones that I want you to research. These are the ones that I want you to understand what they are. So 5, 10 years from now, you have the big vision of what they're doing and what it is. So you're
Yeah.
not just, okay, I made some I it went up, 10x, sell.
Yeah.
Like the dude from Mad Money. That's, it's like I'm giving you the list so that you start to study it. So you start to understand what it is. And that's like, you can give somebody a fish or you can try to teach them how to fish.
Yeah.
And I feel
I
like this is one of
agree.
those topics, if we all want to have financial freedom in the future, we got to get a little outside the box and we got to do some research. And so that's basically, it's both, but that's how I approach it. Um, like these are the things that we study on our channel. Like you're welcome to subscribe, watch our channel, check it out. I always tell everybody to listen to you because I think you go on a lot of 40,000 foot runs. I absolutely loved your trust video, Dad, that you put out Thursday.
I think that view comes from senility kicking in mostly. I mean, it's you get a little older, you start to babble at a camera every now and then. Yeah.
The ramblings of a madman.
Some old dude with his dog out there on a rock. Okay, I'm gonna listen to that cat for
Yeah, a
sure.
bit too much caffeine for him today.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
thanks. I got more compliments about my Thursday night show than almost any show I think I've ever done. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was really kind of a matter of I had the show in my head for so many months, and it just sort of I was in a really good place and space, and we had just spent that weekend together talking about all of that stuff
yeah.
and what my plan was and what we're thinking about doing and what you and I want to do with the trust and
Mhm.
people's financial futures and all the rest of that. So it really came easy for me, That show was really, yeah, easy for me to do. Yeah.
Yeah, the passion came through too, man, and I know we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Speaking,
so fun. So we're getting April this week, right? On
we
Thursday.
are we're getting Miss April Mora, who is about 1,000 times more schooled on trust than I am. Well, her particular trust, which is really the one I'm really focusing on, is the trust that I really want to get involved in. So I'm really excited to get her on. Yeah. And
Nice.
Simon and I have a great show Tuesday. We have a show with JV's going to be on. So
Oh, cool.
busy week. Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah. We're
Right
having
on.
we're having a lot of fun around here around the crew here.
Mhm.
Not to mention my Wednesday and Saturday show and Sunday live with my son, which is probably the most chill show I do
Uh-huh.
for a lot of good reasons. But it's probably it's my favorite show because we get to talk for number one, but for number two,
Yeah.
it's like I get to just do whatever everybody wants to ask me, which is really
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Good.
really
It's good to have
wanted.
everybody else's ideas and not just be
Yeah.
in your own zone. You know, we got to keep growing as much as anybody.
Speaking of, we did have a question here that I'd like to answer. There's some guy I don't know him very well, but I've heard of him. Some guy by the name of Northern Living.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks
Who's
he's
that?
like, I don't know. He thinks he's a secret weapon. I don't know whether I don't know. Maybe it sounds personal, but when moon? He asked.
Yeah.
So, when moon, huh, brother? I love that. Soon. Damn it. Hey, well, we've had some good movement here, and I don't know if anybody noticed, but XRP, like today, kind of 3 or 4 altcoins are up today, and like yesterday. And I want to say XRP was the only one up green this morning. That usually tells me that there's people in the background buying it. It wasn't led by Bitcoin movement first. It was kind of, hey, I better get some of this XRP coin. So we'll see if it can hang above 64 cents and sort of bounce around there sideways, and head to 70. We know the magic number is breaking 75. If it can do that, we'll be on Happy Street. There's a lot of liquidity coming to the market, as we know. So, yeah, we'll have to follow it. So that's when, yeah.
Hopefully, it'll be a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Northern said, heard an agreement between India and Ripple for oil. Interesting. Excellent.
Yep. I heard that. And yes, Becky, there's no more LIBOR starting tomorrow. LIBOR is one of the more corrupt, let's call it what it is, one of the most corrupt situations out of the city of London, and that's never been accurate. Nobody ever works on it. And what we're doing now is CYPOR, which is more based on US. So we're going to actually have more of a presence with the dollar globally, believe it or not. A lot of people think the presence of the dollar is going away. I have a full-blown rant. If you guys got a moment or two to listen to that. What's happening right now, we got to backtrack a little bit. We have to go back to when I've just heard, I forgot who I was listening to, was talking about this. And when he put the piece together, the one piece that hit me was China last week. And it was the final piece to the puzzle. So I want to say 6 months ago, Janet went to China. Turned around, came home, went to China again. Went to China twice. She'd never been to China. Thought that was kind of strange. And I know that the BRICS nations were really putting it all together, and they were really coming up with this thing, and they have this big deal coming up in October. And they were putting it all together, and everybody started getting in a panic thing. But China's economy never really rebounded since 2020. They thought it would. Everybody's doing great, but then they had that real estate crunch. Okay. When the real estate crunch hit China, it hit it harder than any other nation because that's all they do is buy real estate. That's their whole thing. That's why they build cities where it's all for sale. As we've seen, all the documentation is just unbelievable on it. So to say that they caught the real estate bug is an understatement. Well, there was a little thing that occurred that a lot of people didn't catch, but I certainly didn't go unnoticed here in California. Our governor invited Xi Jinping to come to Silicon Valley and meet with all the leaders of Silicon Valley and say, oh, well, we're kind of operating as our own nation here. You're not going to the federal government. You're going to work with California companies and corporations. And everybody thought, wow, that's bold. That was really strange. What's going on there? And immediately, I don't know if anybody caught this, like the following week, Putin scheduled a meeting with Xi Jinping. So now we're getting this whole big puzzle, like the Western system, if you will, run by the City of London for all these years, still is, and the U.S. trying to separate itself from LIBOR, okay, and has already done so well over a year now. And it's decided that it's going to separate itself from City of London. And now when you look over at what was going on with the BRICS, Russia and China were getting real chummy, but then all of a sudden, U.S. got real chummy with China a couple of times in a couple of different manners. And when they looked at it, they said, well, our economy isn't good. So what do we need? We need U.S. dollars. We need the U.S. dollar backing. So I talked about on my show, I think it was on a Sunday show a couple of weeks ago, that they actually started buying U.S. treasuries. China did. Why would they do that? They've been trying to get out of treasuries for a few years now. Well, this was the movement, if you will, back into a more nationalized U.S. dollar instead of a euro dollar around the world. Because everybody, I'm talking about Russia, China, and the U.S. and London, and many other nations, are very concerned about, well, not just crypto, but in particular, stable coins. And that's what all that panic was about. All of it. It was about, we better get our act together and we better all get on the same team. Because if we don't get on the same team, these stable coins they're going to run us down. And this crypto thing is going to run us down. So they were all individually getting into Bitcoin mining. They were all getting back into Bitcoin. As we know, China's opened it up with Hong Kong. Everybody was talking about the presidential elections. All of this is this momentum that they had to compete with. Well, what did China do? China went to the U.S. and said, look, I need some cash. Let's do some cash deals. Well, the cash deals just got exposed last week in the sense that they're encouraging their people in China to buy stocks, and which I did a couple of shows on and mentioned it a couple of times. That's your really big macro 40,000 foot view looking down, that I personally believe that globalism in its previous design is going away. And I think countries are wanting to be more sovereign at their own sovereign country. But what they're really talking about doing is, I want to play nice in the sandbox again. I don't want a war in Taiwan. I don't want that. What do we get from that? We'll let the Israel thing do its own thing. Let's not get into a world war here between the three guys here in the room. I hope that's what's happening. I hope mankind has that kind of intelligence and foresight and cares enough about you and I and the generations to come to understand that those three key players need to get along all in the same sandbox. And there's nothing but prosperity coming our way. And that'll be a different rant later in the show about what I think AI and bots and everything else is going to bring to us all. So, what do you think of that?
I think.
Yeah. So, I don't know why Becky triggered that out of me, but she did again. it's it's all coming to a laptop or phone near you. Stay stay tuned, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah, I just keep hearing this bullish Bitcoin news coming out of China, and it's interesting to hear all that, Dad. Um, Couple things from the chat. Um, what up, H versus N? What up? Great to have you all in. Um, Quick shout out to quickie but a goodie. We're thinking about you all in the South. Um, we know Joanna's down there, and Sam and Sean, and a lot of our friends. And we hope,
Kenny.
yeah, Kenny, we hope you're all doing well. Um, and we hope it's a quick recovery, and we hope you guys are all safe. It's the
Professor.
first time I turned the news on, and I mean months, months was to just how was it? How bad was it? Um, and then just kind of hope for the best for everybody.
Oh, we got Trini in the house. Hey,
We
brother.
do.
Solar
Okay,
Sam.
Tony says yes, and smiley face. That's good.
Solar Sam is
Slater,
also in
go
Florida.
Slater.
I'm missing one here. Solar Sam's in Florida. There's another one. Well, Joanna, I don't see her in here.
Yeah, Joanna's in here.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yes, and
Joanna.
smiley face.
Oh, there she is.
She did. Other Brent, what's up?
I'm missing somebody here. This is really annoying. Zip's in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Zip's
There
in
you
here too.
Yeah,
Hey, Zip, triple moon, baby, triple moon.
that's right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a I really
Yeah.
got a bright. I think we all have such expectations for crypto, and I know that we're all going to do well in the long term, and as we all really hope for our families and our financial futures going forward. I just sense something right now. There's something in this market. The volumes are up, and there's people buying crypto, in particular Bitcoin, off market. And I know I talk about dark pools sometimes, but the dark pools, I'm pretty sure buying it off market. But the one thing hit me the other day. I was talking with a realtor, and she's a real smart real estate lady, and she's like, "Well, I just can't wrap my head around Bitcoin, and I don't understand, what it's all about." And I was like, "Well, I mean, it's scarce and it's property, if you will." And she goes, "Oh, really?" And I go, "Well, it's internet property, sort of. They can't make any more of it. It's sort of like land that you sell. They can't make any more of it. It's that what we have is what we have." And I said, "Well," so I started rattling off some numbers to her, and she was just blown away. She's like, "We've got to talk more. I'm really busy right now, but I'll call you later." So it was really a fun conversation, a local real estate gal. And I'd never really spoken to her. I know her mom pretty well, but I didn't know her all that well. So when she called me back, I had some numbers kind of more that I was going to throw at her. I said, "Well, roughly there's 120 million homes in America, right? Roughly. And plus apartments and other things, but stuff that you can buy and live in, right? Real estate investing. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. So essentially, 10 times less, I'll call it, right? We'll call it easy math. I know it's less than that, but 10 times. So the average house in America is what, $350,000, $400,000 a home. So if there's 10 times fewer Bitcoin, it should be more valuable than a home. And she goes, "Oh, well, I don't understand that." And I'm like, "Well, let me explain it to you. Do people just buy homes to live in them, or do people buy them as an investment? She goes, well, both. And I said, okay, so let's split the amount of homes in half then. And let's say that there's 60 million homes that are for investment. I said, but the problem with the real estate is termites, roof, insurance, taxation, rental. If your net worth is 5 to 10, $20 million, do you really want to deal with painting the house, or having somebody paint it, or somebody moving out, or somebody moving in, or ripping the carpet out, and dealing with the phone calls, or dealing with the management companies, or dealing with paying the tax on it, or all of the above? You don't. All of that is overhead. So then let's go back over the last 5 or 10 years. What have you made in your real estate? Has it doubled? Maybe in 10 years it's doubled. We'll say it's doubled. In the last 10 years, Bitcoin's up, I don't know, 400 times.
Yeah.
And that's just Bitcoin. That's not XRP. That's not any other coin. So when I explained it to her like that, she was like, wow, okay, I'm starting to get it as an investment, but what's the safety and security of it? Like, how do you know they're not going to just make more of them? I was like, well, that really is more than a phone call. That's for you to do your homework and research, but I could lead you some different ways and some great books written, but you need to start with understanding what blockchain is. And I gave her a basic of blockchain. She was like, oh my God, that sounds really safe. And I was like, wow. Not many people say that when I do a 5-minute dissertation on how blockchain works. Do they go, oh, that sounds safe? She got it right away. I was really amazed how well she caught onto it. So anyway, it was a moment where she had heard that I was a crypto person, and I know her mom very well, and her mom's not a crypto person. And she was, I think she's mid 40s, something like that. And she was very interested in finding out what I knew about it when we met, because I'd never really met her before. Yeah. So people, it's in the back of their mind more today than ever before, I think, or in a long time, I should say.
Yeah. I was up till 1 talking to my friend Glenn from work, and we got into like I started ranting. I channeled my old man, and thanks for listening, Glenn. And but we got into like, the like we were talking about before the show, Dad, like deflationary technology, and like we always use the example of the cell phone, because years ago you had to have alarm clocks, calendars, planners, paper, all these different things. And now this is starting to eat even computers themselves. Um, and that's deflationary, when you can do more with less, right? And that's kind of this coming trend, and this buildup of AI and what AI can do. And then people realize they can do that. And then, we were talking when we went to San Jose about, all the other crazy technologies that are coming, just our ability to receive internet from space, and what cars are now. And, um, the like there's such a debate and such a, I think, a internal argument just about automobiles. There's some of us like me who just, we want to run combustion engines forever. But my dad had this great point of, well, look at all the hardware that it takes to make this thing function and work. And he and I were in a Tesla store, and we're looking at how these parts work, and they got them up on the walls, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. And the power output and the efficiency, depending on, how energy dependent you are. But like you've said it to me for years, Dad. Like technology is deflationary,
Big
and
time.
and so he and I work for a um, corporation, and we were even talking about that, as far as like how much of how much of the staff and how much of things are going to be automated in the future. Is that going to be a cost effective decision for our company to say, hey, you know, I got millions of dollars a year going out and payroll and all these things for this store. If I make this investment here to do this, could that be more efficient? And I think
Yeah.
that's part of the fear that people have about AI, but it's also something that's people like us can really use it. We're learning how to use it for trading bots, and we're learning how to use it to make more money. We're learning how to use it with making our own work, if you work from home, more efficient.
Yeah.
So that you can bring that time and potentially more earnings if you want it, to what you're doing. And so the other part of that equation to me, Dad, is that human trend that we talk about. I think with blockchain, a ton of us came to it and loved it because we see this kind of all the corruption and all the excess and all the ones and zeros don't add up. That the truth isn't out there, and there's a lot of cooking of the books, and there's a lot of crazy stuff that the banks have done.
Yeah.
And to make finances and to make like economies of the world, trustless and keep it honest, and to have that clarity, I think in my mind it's the most efficient. It's one of the most beneficial things that we can do is be a part of that human trend. It's like, okay, well, this one does this one does this one does this. It's not perfect. A lot of them aren't going to make it, even though a ton of them are billion-dollar, they have billion-dollar market caps. Well, that's equivalent to like, computer companies back in the 90s. Everything's valued at more. Like you were saying with real estate, like in 2014 to now, the house I live in has doubled in price. Same materials, same piece of land, same
Mhm.
area, nothing's changed. Not a lot of updating, doubled.
Yeah.
And so like the the trend of like people needing to make more to be able to get the same, I think is going to be huge. And and then as far as the other things, like talking about trust and IBC, like I look at IBC as this incredible opportunity to not just save, but to create a retirement, to actually become your own bank, actually have the power back into your hands. And then, with the trust stuff, it's like, how do you defend it? How do you put up the wall so that we're good here? We're not gonna, you know, we're not gonna be subject to capital gains tax and liens and lawsuits and all here tax liabilities, turnover orders, charging orders. It goes
Yeah.
on and on and on. And so with with the development and support of blockchain and other technologies and how we use them, how people use them. And if we can use them wisely, I think we can make that trend, that shift for people a greater one. I really
Yeah.
do. I mean,
Yeah.
you're always going to have all the other stuff. That's just the way the world has gone. You've got to look out for your own interests and your own assets, and you have to
Yeah.
protect things. And if I think this technology is going to help us do a better job of that, if we put in the work, if we put in the energy to do so.
There's been a yes, exactly, and there's been a real. This is just my opinion.
Mhm.
There's been a real, in particular, the last 4 years, has been somebody with their boot on the neck of technology. And it seems like the US government to me. And it seems like, I don't know whether it's the party, I don't know whether it's Washington as a whole, I don't know whether it's Pentagon, I don't know who it is. But I know that they have stifled crypto in particular, blockchain in particular. No question about it. That's an obvious statement in a crypto channel. But they've also stifled what I would call AI and robotics.
Mhm.
However, they like their favorite players and they like who they are, and they seem to have control over 2 or 3 of the top people. However, they don't seem to have any control over Elon, or less control over Elon, I should say. Who knows what controls what? And that's what I really kind of like about recently. There's the government that would like to come into power coming soon. I don't want to get too political here, but he seems to say, I don't care what you make, just make it in America and make it great. You can, it can be any technology you want to make, just make the damn thing. And that's really refreshing to me on a business level of like Elon sees it. All of a sudden you see Zuckerberg seeing it. And Zuckerberg is basically, whether you like the man or not, okay, he's gone that whole meta route, which is he's really pushing AI that way. And then you've got Elon going, hey, well, I'm just going to make the cars, the phones, the satellites, all of it. And if you look at the technology of how that impacts, you think about every nation in the world has to be connected. In my day, it was fiber optic or cable or these cables, right?
Mhm.
Well, think of all the places in the world that can't have those cables connected to it, which is most places, believe it or not. Okay. We don't need that anymore. We don't need fiber. We don't need a cord laying in the ground. We got satellites. So all of that now is becoming obsolete. You know how big that is? Do you know how much less copper that is to drag around the planet, or fiber optics to drag around? Because what we have now just comes from space. This is big, guys. And it's not just about Elon and technology. What I'm talking about is the production of electricity is the most important thing man needs. And by the way, AI is going to cut the price of electricity annually. Because here's what happens with AI. It eliminates, just like decentralization does, it eliminates the monkeys in the middle. The AI says, no, 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 this is the most efficient way to go from point A to point B, period. We don't interject the monkey man in between. It's point A, point B. You really, then don't ask AI my opinion, because you don't want the real answer. The real answer is do it like this. Cut out the middleman, cut out the government, cut out the elite, if you will, or the people that are trying to change things or control the flow of technology. We all of a sudden have AI calling them out and saying, well, your big problem is those people. That's where your problem lies. The problem, the giant gorilla in the room is going to be the first thing that AI points at. And this is what I'm talking about with, I think, previous government agencies have decided that they want to stay in power and they don't want to lose the power to objectivity and computing power. Big deal, guys. Because like you were saying earlier, when the price of all things starts to deflate for you and I, and money means less to everyone, and robotics does virtually everything, then the need for government power or interjection in between our lives diminishes massively, massively. They've held our jobs, our income, and our financial futures over our head to create sovereign rat slaves out of all of us on a damn wheel. And it's, I think, not only deflationary, I think technology is not to be feared, because I believe on a higher level of consciousness of man that absolutely it will be for the betterment of mankind. And it will be very difficult for somebody to say, oh, I'm going to get all the AI just to compute negatively against mankind. I don't know how you would do that. I really don't. So I'm 90% sure that it's going to be really good for mankind, and 5 or 10% is going to be, not so good.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of growing pains between now and the next decade. I mean, a lot. But
yeah, our perception of how we take in the information that it gives us. Yeah, I think some of that -5 to 10% we've seen now already, Dad, is like, manipulation and certain answers coming out of our devices that may not be true, may not be, true to our reality or what
yeah,
we're seeking out. And so it's like we've still got to be we still have to be the one to operate it. And I love what you said about that. I think um it's like any crazy sci-fi movie, you're the guy's running around and he ran out of his guns out, and he's got no more weapons, and like he comes along and there's like an alien, and he's got his alien plasma rifle. Like you're not going to pick that up. You're not going to pick that up and carry that with you and use it, or to make a less violent take, like I don't know, flashlight, like or something. It's like you're in a sewer and you're not going to use your torch. Like of course you're going to use the torch. Um, and that torch, that you know alien thing to me is like a quantum leap, those quantum jumps in technology. And like to not be a user of it, and to not try to learn about it, and to not try to implement it, I think could really, that could be the biggest negative impact to an individual, is to just say, no, I'm just going to stay old school with everything. I'm going to use matches here. And that
okay,
will work, if you can make it work. But to, especially when it's clearly been, the foot's been on the neck, and it's like clearly being trying, like, kept out of our hands, and then all the big, you know who's are the ones with the biggest AI markets. I don't think that's right. Like I don't think it's right to keep that from people. I've thought that about the truth for a long time too. um, I think people can do a better job of it than organized governments have any day. I'd bet on that 6 days a week and twice on Sunday. I would. And
yeah,
so we get to be in this space and encourage each other, to understand it and to use it. Um, and yeah, not saying that you have to or you should or any of it, but it's it's just, so once you do understand it, I think it makes, usually revolutionizes old tools. Now you've got this new, sweet, like, mag light while you're walking through the sewer. Like I'd rather have that than the matches.
yeah.
So it's
Everything is going to change whether you want it to or not. And like, that's what the evolution of man is. Clearly, the evolution of man is robotics. Clearly. I mean,
yeah,
It's not maybe. I'm going to say within 10 years, everybody's going to have their own robot. And like, it's happening so fast that you could just say, oh, well, I don't want that. Well, okay, you can go back to a horse and buggy and, the Quakers and the Mennonites or whoever, okay, go for it. Nobody's stopping you from doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you that if that's what your game plan is, and you think that oh, that's what God's will is for us to stay on a horse and a buggy. Well, who invented the buggy? I mean, that was, probably before anything. So it's really hard for me to go down the road of what's right or what's wrong for the technology of future.
Right.
But I will say this, and I mean this in more than just a technology sense. The future of all things created on this planet are evolution of man. Period. They didn't fall out of the sky. Man and man's innovation and creativity created this. Everything that we use through, in my way of thinking, through God's will and through God's help and guidance. So I get a lot of people who tell me, oh, well, no, that's evil and that's dark energy and it's this and it's that. It's like, how can it be that if it's created from man? Like, okay, I can understand where a nuclear bomb could be called a dark energy. Certainly can see how somebody would say that, for sure. But wasn't it created by man with the guidance of God? I don't know. I mean, like, that's a heavy angle for somebody just to cut the line and say, nope, no AI for me. No AI, no robotics. That's not, trust me, in 50 years, those of you who are going to be here, even 20 years from now, I'm telling you, that's what you're going to be living in. Because it's not a matter of, oh, no, let's stop that whole creative thought process and go backwards. And we call it technology, but it's not. It's evolution. And that's what we're doing here. That's why we're on this planet, because we're evolving. It's enough preaching for this Sunday. I'll get into something else today.
No, it's a big subject, and it's fun to talk about. Like Cody was saying, that's something that we all get to have, no matter what. We all get to have conversations with each other, and
Right.
with a great blessing. Love the comments, everybody.
Yeah.
Good to see you in, Jetpack. Becky, always love having you, girl.
Jetpack's fully caffeinated, clearly.
Travis, we can enslave ourselves. I think that's kind of the moral of what we were trying to dig at, Dad. Whether you're a horse and buggy Mennonite, or you're doing it with trying to revolutionize your business with using some AI tool or something. It's there are all sorts of ways to do it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate man's advancements. It seems to me that, we had this talk when we were driving to Vegas. I don't know if you remember this, Brent, but all of that tech. Okay, let me see if I can phrase this properly. What crypto is doing, big picture, is cutting out middleman, as we all know. What it's really doing is showing us a new way to trade or interact and to have people communicate financially easier, cheaper. Okay? That's really what it's doing. So if we can make transactions and money easier and cheaper and more relevant and more useful, right? That's been the big hurdle. Farming and robotics is going to be perfect.
Mhm.
That's what you want. Even organic, really good farming, you can do it with robotics, and that's really what you're going to want to do. Okay. Because that way you can control and maintain the perfect growing atmosphere with the soil and whatnot. Okay. All of that is going to become cheaper, faster, more relevant, more useful, more desirable. The stuff you want is going to be cheaper, faster, and easier. That is deflationary, right? So all technology and all the use of man's ideas all come from entrepreneurs. The entrepreneur of the society is a guy who sees a problem. And he says, I want to get in the middle of that problem because there's profit in it. I'm going to make a sliver of money, and I'm going to do it 1,000,000 times over, and I'm going to make $1,000,000. That's what we're doing right now with crypto, AI, and robotics. We're cutting out all those little middlemen in every tiny little area of the world to free up your life, to cheapen the food. Inflation will come down because of technology, not because of man working harder. And that's what a lot of people can't wrap their head around. They're like, well, wait a minute, I'm going to lose my job, and then they're going to just keep printing money. When I hear people tell me, and I've been an Austrian economics man for probably longer than a lot of people in this chat have been alive. Everybody says when you print more money, you create more problems. It's true. It is true. But where I started this little rant was that we are fixing money. Crypto is fixing money. It's a whole new board game. We have a whole different board game than the way they tax us through inflation. Okay. They're not going to be able to do that to the level in which they did. By controlling the price. Why do you think a futures market exists? So they can manipulate and control the prices. If they let technology and just go run wild on the production of food costs around the world, it would be free. I'm not kidding you. Free food in your lifetime is not far away. We just need to get the people who control the digits out of the way, because all innovation, all creativity, and all entrepreneurs is deflationary in the long run. Period. And they have been able to keep themselves in the control mechanism levers at the top to keep them skimming the profits of not having a job or not being a creator, using the banking system, okay, and the leverage of it to keep themselves wealthy because they're not inventors or creators. And they've been able to skim all that top and control with armies and other such craziness, well, I won't get into, to control mankind. That's coming to an end, I think. I don't think, and I wait till you see my show Wednesday. I have a really cool show about exactly that, where I'm headed with that next statement, but I'm not going to go there.
Nice.
Yeah. Now I'm preaching again on a Sunday.
Oh no.
Don't do it.
We got a hard stop here in about 20 minutes, folks. Whatever
Yeah.
you all want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's dig into the chat, Dad. These are our people. Yeah, I bet Jetpack love in the comments. Love
Yeah.
it. Keep them coming. Totally agree.
And Hoofdy is always in there.
Uh-huh. Hoopty in the house. Yeah, go ahead. I love the boys said Russia says if it moons, it moons.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just might.
Pretty
Uh
much, right?
Perfect day to preach. Yeah.
It's my
Uh,
I
clear
love
church.
studying that
Oh
stuff.
no! Oh no!
Yeah, no, we're not calling it church.
No! 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 No!
We
Uh,
we used to call Wednesday nights in the town I lived in. Oh, it was Tuesday. Taco Tuesdays was half off drinks. We used to call it church. Hey, you guys going to church tonight? Yeah, yeah, I'll be there. They're like, well, why do you guys call it church? It's like, well, it's the only thing we did religiously. Yeah,
pretty
those
good.
were those were thirsty days.
I love playing chess, Cody. I recently beat my friend's 10-year-old son, and normally nothing to brag about there, right? But he was being a cocky little turd. Okay, entering this game, like he's on the chess team now, and like he's the guy, and
Oh boy.
all right, well, let's see what you got here. And he had me on the ropes, right? He had some jabs, he had some hooks, but he made one wrong move, one really bad move, and I almost stopped him. But I was like, well, just like I had to learn, my friend, so will you. And he made his move, and I'm like, nope, nope.
That wasn't it.
That
Took your
wasn't
hand off it.
poison piece. You don't move that. That's poison. No. And yeah, it was a good time. It was a
Yeah.
good time. Much love to my Monell family. Uh,
I've been saying this for over a month now. No, they're not going to appeal. So you heard it here first. I no. I they don't. Why? They're going to lose the appeal. Like, what do they have to gain? I don't know if you noticed, but he was in Congress last week, and even the people sitting next to him couldn't stand the man. It was pretty bad. He might do it to spite or to slow everything down, but there's nobody on this planet that thinks it's going to be productive for him. So yeah, if he wanted to slow things down, yeah, I get it, but no. Yeah. Well, maybe Hoopty, but I don't think so.
mm-hmm.
I don't think. Let's face facts, guys. I know we all own XRP, and I know all of us think it's going to, I don't know, $15 next week. It's not. When they win that case, it's not going to blow up. Like, people who own XRP right now. Like, the UPS driver is not going to run up your and knock on your door and go, "You were right. I'm buying all I got." No, that's not. It's not. We want that to happen because we live it every single day. But yeah, when the bull comes and it busts out, I'm saying above 75 cents, it's going to naturally flow up really fast. It is. But not because it didn't have an appeal. That's not. I don't. So why would they appeal it? To slow it down, to stop it? I just don't think it's. First of all, ISO isn't even going to be completely implemented for another year anyway. So what do you mean slow it down? They're going to go 2 years in appeal? I don't think so. But again, I'm wrong a lot. I'm wrong often. If you watch this show long enough, you'll see. But yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, Hoopty says, I think 100% appeal. It's all about the delay. Interesting.
That's what it says. Oh,
yeah.
no. Everybody in the XRP community thinks, yeah, oh, yeah, they're definitely going to appeal it. I'm like, well, I don't see.
Kinsler's been on an apology tour, so doubt it.
Yeah. Hey, to clear that up, the reason that XRP is, I don't know, 65 cents today is not because of that case. I'm sorry, it's just not. I know everybody, I know it would have gone up more in the last run. It would have, for sure. Way more, probably $10, probably, I would say. And it didn't ever get to do that. And I know it's been suppressed because of that case. But when that ruling came out, it only went to 90 cents. Remember July 13th? I remember that day well. That was a great day in crypto world when we got that ruling from this Taurus. It only went to 90 cents, guys. There's not enough demand. You need a market, and you need a demand, and you need a bull market. And we're not there yet. When we're there, look out. Yeah, look out. Yeah. What else we got in there?
Yeah, PayPal news is interesting. I heard they're allowing businesses to do purchases with Bitcoin. PayPal is also doing cross-border payments in China without a token and on their own rails.
Yeah.
Dang.
PayPal
barf.
Yeah. PayPal has some real problems, and their biggest problem is they're completely centralized. And ain't nobody want that.
No.
In plain English. So, yeah, if you want to pay a corporation to control your life with your money, nobody wants that. Nobody's down with that. That's not the future.
No.
It's a payment rail. Yeah. Yeah, Becky, right. She said stablecoin legislation. Yeah, don't get me started on that. That's not this. Okay, man, am I going to have to go through this again? The stablecoin regulation and legislation that is currently being put forward by the ECB and the United States Congress government is garbage. It's pure trash, and it's not worth the paper it's written on. Anybody that knows anything about economics, who's studied it for any period of time, I read 2 straight nights on it, and I was like, this is like, the title of it should have just said corruption. Here, obey what we tell you to do. Mm-hmm. That's not a stable coin. So they're enslaving the one thing that could free everybody, and they're enslaving it through the European Union and the US government. And I'm talking about not the good people in our government. I'm talking about the people that have enslaved you financially forever, are now creating the rules and the regulations and something that is absolutely like perfectly designed to free you. What does that tell you about that? And yet people want it because they've invested in Circle. Oh, I got an investment in Circle. I really want this bill to go through so that we can regulate it, so we can all number go up guy. No, man. No. That's I'm not empowering their rules.
No.
Sorry. I don't believe in them. I don't think they've been honest with us. I don't think they care about you. I think they say that they're doing it, for your safety. Right. No, that's not why they're doing it. No, people aren't getting ripped off by the coin they're going after, by the way. And they just like they didn't get ripped off by CZ, and they went after him. Took his $4 billion and still threw him in jail. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't corrupt the thing itself, you corrupt the idea of it. towards others. And they've been doing that for 15, 16 years.
No, well, let's backtrack.
Technology.
Let's go back. Did they corrupt gold, the perfect money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did they corrupt oil? The petrodollar? Yeah, they certainly did that, didn't they? They're trying to corrupt crypto in the same way. That's it, guys. It's that damn simple. Old game, new toy. Here's the new thing. You got to have the new shiny thing that, is all freedom and decentralized, but we regulate it like we always do. No, man, I'm not down with that. That's not why I got in crypto. And I'm sorry if that offends a lot of people, because I know it really does. They're like, oh, no, yeah, because you have to understand we need rules and regulations.
Mm-mm. Be
Look,
better if we didn't have them with this.
if you want to drive your motorcycle down a road without a brain bucket on, whatever. Why do we have to play Boy Scout and control everybody's life all the way down to whatever? I'm not down with it. I'm just not. And I in particular, when they tell you for 15 years that the token or coins that you're involved in are criminal, and then they say, oh, well, we're going to go ahead and let them in, but we're going to make the rules for it. Warning.
Warning. Yeah.
Warning.
Where's my red flag?
That's when my BS detector shot right through the roof of my truck. I was like, wow. Okay, no, I'm not down with any of that. None of anything they say. If it doesn't happen organically on the streets between your phone and my phone and it's spread like fire, I don't want it. I don't want anything they approve of.
I don't want their fingerprints on it. I don't want them touching it.
No.
Keep your mitts off of it and let humanity run this one. Ladies and germs. It's the best thing that they could do. Is like we're doing. Have some, hold it, use it.
That's right.
So simple.
It's
Can
sort of
make it uncorrupt and simple, please.
Yeah. We don't even need exchanges. Just wallet to wallet.
Yeah.
We don't need any of them. Like, it seems so simple to me, but I've been around a long time. So it just seems to me that every time somebody gets in between you and I's transaction, they're only out for money and power. There's never for our best interest. If that were the case, cash wouldn't exist. Like, you could do anything with cash. They seem to be okay with that. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, this is the good call, Becky. This is the scary thing to me.
What's that? Crap.
When you go to try to regulate it and you don't even understand what it is or what it can do or what it can be or how it can benefit people. That's the problem with politics itself. In this country, you get one party that leans hard into something to try to promote it and try to make it happen or whatever. And then you have the other side that combats them. And then you start to read the bills for these things in the first place. And it doesn't matter which side it is. It's just more regulatory crap.
Yeah.
Slow you and I down.
That's it. I love that. That's it, Peaky, right there.
Yeah.
It's like, put a flat tire on a Lamborghini. What are you doing to me? Let it become naturally what it will be. That's what they didn't do with Facebook. That's what they didn't do with Twitter. It's what they didn't do with YouTube. They didn't just let it be. Yeah. It's not freedom. And that's the free market. That's what works. Anyway, if the free market were allowed to just be free, everything would get free, cheap, real fast. Yeah, it really would. Because competition. It's like, how much is a digital camera now? Well, I don't know. I got it came free on my phone. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. There you go. It's really hard to say that you can buy a better camera outside your phone. Yeah. Some has to be right to tell another bag of flesh with legs.
It is so bizarre. It is so bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, I hope I never do that. I hope like I hope it's just all encouragement from my end to all of you to see those kinds of things. It's
Yeah.
we don't need them. We have needed them in a lot of ways ever. Um,
Yeah. What there's communities right now being built. I know it's just the beginning, but it's being built on Bitcoin now. Communities, towns, states, nations. Most people that follow XRP don't follow much Bitcoin news, but what they're doing with Bitcoin right now is pretty revolutionary, guys. You really, I mean, I, I know everybody thinks it's slow and tired. Everybody in the XRP army, oh, Bitcoin's slow and it's tired and it's terrible and don't ever get near it. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Just be careful when one day, you say to yourself, wow, I could have bought Bitcoin at $60,000 and it's now, I don't know, 100 times that value. I'll never be able to buy it then. Yeah. That's that's what frightens me more than anything else. Because if it's going to go as big as I think it's going to go dollar wise, okay, you're not going to be able to keep up with it. The little man's already out. Who can afford 60,000 now? Nobody. That's the sad part. And you know what they like to do? They like to control things that are expensive, right? And they like to make it more expensive and like to give it more power. This is why I know Bitcoin won't fail. People always tell me, oh, well, XRP is better technology. Yes, it is. It's faster. Yes, of course. We all know that. And it's going to be in all the banking systems. Yes, yes, and yes. It's a better product. But the other one is how you control collateral. Massive amounts of value can be said, oh, if you don't have a Bitcoin, you can't play in our league. That day's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many of those XRPs you have, you don't have one of these, is what they get to say. You don't get to come in our league because you don't have what we got or what we think is more controllable than your item. That's how I think it's going to succeed. It's not whether or not I want one over the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting the world we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
That
Most. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, it was, wasn't
What's
it?
up,
Yeah.
Ron? What is up, brother?
Did you, Ron?
We
Did you
love
get
you,
that?
man. Appreciate your help.
Yeah. Did you get my package yet? I
Mhm.
sent Mr. Ron a package. Hopefully he got it. I don't know how slow the snail mail is these days, but there's another Florida guy.
Grace, Jay
Ron's a,
Clinton, VGM, relaxation through exotic music, the mighty tone. Welcome in, everybody. We
well,
uh we love doing this show on Sundays with all of you. This is the energy time. Let's work. Let's get up on our hill, everybody, and work out all the problems, shall we?
yeah,
What better to do on Sunday? No, it's a love fest, and I love it. Everybody that we've gotten to meet outside of the, the computer screen, it's just been amazing. All of you are amazing, and we can't wait to do more meetups. That's a lot of what we talked about together on the weekend, and let's with our last couple minutes here, Dad. Let's talk out. Let's talk out Vegas a little bit. Just a little bit. Just yeah, we don't have to go nuts here. We don't have to go crazy, but
I'm thinking about just getting a place for the whole month. I'm going to be there so much this year in the month of May.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah,
to be. It's well, we don't know when Brad's show is, but he's usually the first week of May. So we'll be there. We'll be in XRP show for sure, guaranteed. We
mm-hmm.
have some interesting ideas that maybe we should get Ron on a 3-way call, see what he thinks about the whole idea.
Yeah,
I have a cool idea for the XRP show that I think might happen, but take a lot of work from not just Brent and I, take it from Ron and his crew. So
yeah. Really big, really fun idea. We want to make it. We want to go even bigger and better this year. Um, and last year was so amazing that you know. But it's about the people and how can we be around more of you and communicate with more of you, and I think that's the coolest part of it. We'll get more into it maybe when they release tickets. I just got excited about that idea, Dad.
yeah, it's a good
I want
idea.
to get everybody. I want to get everybody here excited to maybe be able to save up and go, if you all can, or
And
we would just love to see you anywhere. So
yeah, I think we could pull it off, especially if Brad. One of my suggestions to him last year, he asked me, "Hey, how could I improve the show?" And I was like, "A media room would be awesome, of any kind. That'd
mm-hmm.
be really cool."
Hey,
Yeah,
OG, welcome in, bro.
yeah,
We're talking about ghost money, everybody.
that's right.
Check out our friend's channel, Ghost Money.
OG,
And we've gotten to talk to and become friends with and get to know Cody. And I love what he's doing on his channel. Um, I can't wait to work with you guys more. OG, we got to link up. We got to link up.
yeah.
Hey, there's Todd and Bonnie.
I'd
There
like
they
to.
are.
That's one thing. What do we have? Almost 100 people in the chat here. I'd love to see you guys all show up in Vegas, by the way,
Mhm.
for the XRP show. And I'm also going to be going to like the end of the month. We're going to be going, I think you're coming too, I hope, Brent, to the Bitcoin Vegas. Bitcoin show this year is in Vegas. It was Miami, then Nashville, and then this coming year is in Vegas. So I can drive there, so I'm going to that one.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go, Peaky. Have a great day. Yeah,
Have a great day, brother. Love you, man. Yeah, guys, yeah, rules and animals. I'd rather be like the animals personally. That's just me. I try not to divide myself from them anymore.
Really? I prefer human beings.
Yeah.
I prefer human beings.
I don't think there's a disconnect in the energy. I just don't. It's God made a nature based world, if that's what you want to believe. We're to divide anything from God, I think is fundamentally wrong. And I've read all the texts, I've gone through all the different courses, I've spent a ton of my life doing it. I just can't get around that anymore. Dividing myself from any of it, even the corruption, even the bad rules, even the people who I would just like to see, not be involved anymore. Like, I don't, I am connected to it all.
There you go.
But I love it. I love it, guys. Love the chat.
Yeah. Of course, Sean got that started.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Uh-huh.
Vikey Cat got a horse fan in the house.
Nice. Love horses are awesome.
Horses are awesome, especially when they're someone else's.
you you humanimal, Brent. You humanimal, you.
Yeah. Yeah, Zip, we'll see you Tuesday night. Don't miss Thursday, guys. Thursday's going to be huge. Tuesday's going to be big too because we have JV on. He's always in a lot of information. But Thursday night show, guys, you're going to learn more in that 60 minutes about trust than you ever thought you could know about a trust. I'm not kidding you. It's so simply put. Isn't it amazing the way she puts things, Brent? It's like
It's amazing. Yeah, April's amazing. Like, we can't wait. It's like talking to all of you, and she's so knowledgeable that she can paint it, in a way that you can understand it, and then it's interesting. Every single question we asked her, I'm looking at. We went through like 13 questions. I want to say
yeah.
will be our video coming out. She just nailed them. She just nailed them all, and she helped us guide the questions and to where it's like we could get the max out of it. So I can't wait to see you two cook on that.
Becky, we'll work on that tonight.
Yeah, we will work on it, Becky. Oh boy, I started it.
Yeah, you did.
I love.
Yeah, you started. Once you get the chat going down that angle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Guys, right, I know you needed to cut out.
I've got to stop. I just want to say that I can't believe that we've been doing this show for 3 years now, Brent.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of just our channel and the people we have in it. I pinch myself a lot. I'm doing more and more video, and every time I do it, I enjoy it more and more. And I might get good at it one day too, but we have that to hope for.
We do.
I'm really enjoying the interaction and the calls that I get. I get to be on with people. Like I just said, I prefer people over anything. And when I can talk with you guys on the phone, it's awesome. So if you don't have my phone number, or if you would like to chat with Brent or I, please email us at thestaplecrew.com or alstaple.com or alstaple@gmail.com. I'm all over the place. So any of those will go directly to me, and you can send me just a little blurb and then your phone number, and I'll call you back and we can talk about what you think about the world's doing and why it's doing it. But I get a lot from everybody. I get the ground level feeling of how everybody thinks and how your emotions are. And it's really fun to be able to talk to everybody. And I really love it. And I appreciate it. We are creating not just a crew, it's more of a family. And I knew it would become this. I really did one day. I didn't know how, but I did know it would happen. So.
Yep.
With that, man, I'm going to get out of here.
I totally agree. Yeah, we'd love to hear from y'all. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend and a great week. Much love and healing to you, Becky, and much love and healing to all our brothers and sisters in the South. We hope you're all doing well and hopefully do better. Appreciate you all so much. With that, we are